You have the information. You're not moving through your path blindly. That's the difference. Your path still goes forward, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not. But the difference is that when you are choosing to consciously co create with the divine, the way you walk your path becomes different, more aligned, more embodied, and definitely more conscious. Hello, lovelies. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sovereign Goddess podcast. So, I had a really interesting conversation with a colleague of mine, and some of the things that came up I wanted to share with you guys. So, it has to do with your divine mentor. Here's the thing: we all have divine mentors who show up each year to work with us. So I am focusing more on year because I actually help women to create their whole blueprint for the year so they can actually see what is coming up, what tools they have, what challenges will be coming up, and what solutions they have with it. It is a beautiful process that I get to walk women through. And one of the things that I do, and that is help them connect with their goddess mentor for the year. And it always blows my mind what goddess shows up, right? And it usually correlates to what that year, what the theme of the year will be, what the flavor of the year will be uniquely for them. We all have these group of beings who show up for us, to support us, to guide us, to mentor us, to light our ways, to help us heal, cleanse, like anything that we need, and they're ready to go. We all have it, but it always blows my mind how many people don't utilize them or don't even know that they exist. And this was the conversation that I had with my colleague, and she was sharing with me a powerful dream that she had, and she was connected to, I believe she said Thomas Jefferson. And it was so vivid and so powerful that even when she went to visit Washington, it's the area in Washington where he lived, like it was like visceral, like she felt it. And I was like, huh, I wonder if that is your mentor. And it could be for this year or your life mentor, because we do have that. We have mentors, divine mentors, who come in and walk with us from the time we were born to the time we decide to leave, and even after, right? We have mentors that come in for just a year, for just a month, depending on what is going on in our lives, to support us. The mentors that come in, weave in and out, and the ones that are here with us constantly. And when you open yourself up and you realize these divine beings who have shown up for you, and you begin to work with them, well, that's a whole different lifestyle of living, right? It is divine mentorship. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to share some of mine. I do this every year. So at some point, I started out with just focusing on, my goddess mentor for the year. And at some point, as I received my goddess mentor, I also received another mentor. And this mentor, just like my colleague's experience with Thomas Jefferson, it was someone who had lived before. So 3 years ago, I was moving through intense emotional stuff. Let me explain it first. So I have divine mentors who are like ascended masters of light. They are, like they're beings of light who are just holding that potent energetic space for us. And then there's I call them like my living mentors. Even though they're not alive anymore, they lived. It's like I can go back in history and go learn about them. I don't know what name I should give them yet, but anyways, I know that they've lived before. And so 3 years ago, Frida Kahlo came into my life. Woo! It was perfect. It was so perfect. Now, I love Frida Kahlo. Her story has always fascinated me. And the way these mentors pop in for me is that it's like this infusion, this desire to really get to know them. So, like when Frida Kahlo came in, before I even knew she was my mentor, I was researching, I was looking up her art. So like I couldn't get enough of her. I got a calendar with her art. Like I just kept doing it. And at some point I was like, oh my God, that's my mentor this year. She's coming in for me. And that's the thing, with my goddess mentors, sometimes they'll come in, they'll show up usually around like December or even like January of the new year. And I just know this is my mentor. Sometimes I actually pull a card. It's like, this is my mentor for the year. But with the living mentors, they just come in, like again, it's that they come in with like that desire to know them without even knowing why. It's like out of nowhere. And Frida Kahlo was like that. 3 years ago is when the living mentor started. It probably has been going on for a while, but that's when I realized it, and you probably will relate to this. You can go back and be like, oh, yeah, I know why I was obsessed with this person, or why I had this dreams constantly about this person. There's a connection there. So when I finally received her, I was like, oh, okay. You're my mentor for the year, aren't you? What do I even call this? Because I'm so used to working with the goddesses. So I started calling them living mentors because they have lived before. I can actually go in history and research about them. Where like the ascended masters and the goddesses, sometimes you can't find the human life, right? We can find a divine life, but we can't find a human life. So I call them living mentors. We'll see. Maybe that will change. If you have a better word, please let me know. So Frida Kahlo came in, and that year was emotionally very painful for me. And what she taught me was how to transmute my pain with beauty. And so I dove into neurographica. If you've been following me, you've probably heard me talk about neurographic art. And I just dove in, and I just could not get enough of it. And of course, working with her, painters, like looking at her paintings. There was a documentary about her. I watched movies about her. Like I was in. And the biggest thing she taught me that year was transmuting my pain with beauty. It was everything that, like, I couldn't get enough of that expression. I couldn't get enough of the arts. I couldn't get enough. It was very much creative expression to use to transmute my emotions. It was so powerful. And she came in so beautifully. And just getting to know her life was just wow. She was an incredible woman. And then last year, I had another living mentor. Last year, my living mentor was Mother Cabrini. Now, I am not Catholic. I haven't, I don't know anything about the Catholic saints. Like I've never heard of her before. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I remember you. Like never. But one thing that was really cool was that there's where I live, like in the mountains, they have a shrine. And again, I'm not Catholic, but I love going there. Like every now and then I crave to go there, and you have to climb these steps. It's like steep. You have to climb it all the way up. And as you're climbing, there's like these prayers there. There's areas that you can sit and contemplate. And I just love doing it. It kicks my booty, but I do it anyways. And when she came in, I was like, I have no idea who you are or what. Like I could not connect. It's like, where did you come from? Last year when she came in, I had that craving to go back there. So I went and climbed again. And this time I went into the chapel. Usually I'll go anyways, but I went into the chapel and I was reading. I was like, oh my gosh, for some reason, I thought the person, so they call it the Cabrini Shrine, and it's Xavier Francis Cabrini. So I thought it was a male, person, which Catholics is just normal. It's usually, you usually see the female being exalted or celebrated. And so I thought it was like this male saint, shrine thing. And when I was reading, I don't know why I never really took time to read it. I guess I had made up my mind that it was a male person. And this time when I was reading it, I just like, what? So I've been going there this whole time and had no idea who she was. It was a she. And that year, I was like, after I received her, there's a process where when they show up very strongly, and I finally just like, okay, you're my mentor, right? It's like my way of welcoming them and receiving them. And once I do that, it just kind of opens that path of mentorship for me where they get to come in and support me and teach me and show me and guide me, like all of it. And so that year, funny enough, so after I received her, I was like, show me, like, I have no idea who you are. Teach me who you are. And that year, I'm not kidding you, like last year, a movie came out about her, and you can actually go find it and watch it. It was wow. I was like, alrighty then. I've been going to your shrine to like connect to myself and connect to the divine, but I never really knew who you were. And in the movie, the first time I watched it, I was in tears because it felt so aligned. And Mother Cabrini came in and she taught me about resilience. She taught me about devotion. She took devotion to a whole different level. Resilience, devotion, strength, and vision. Let me tell you about this goddess, this woman here. She was a nun in the Catholic Church, and something happened to her when she was younger. So her constitution, she had a weaker constitution. She got sick a lot. She had been put in request with the Pope to take the nuns and go to, I think she wanted to go to China on a missionary mission, missionary mission to work with the children in China. And she kept requesting and requesting. She was relentless about it. And it kept being denied and kept being denied and kept being denied. And so one day she decided, I think she actually got invited to Rome to talk to the Pope, which was actually a setup because the person who connected wanted to tell her face to face that no, we're never going to do it. Like, stop requesting. So she shows up, and of course, she's the only woman there. Everyone, it's every one of the clergy male, and the Pope comes in and is walking, and she was kind of ignored. And at some point, she just like paused, take a deep breath in, and she addressed the Pope. It's like, why don't you want me to go? I mean, can you imagine a woman in the midst of all men, right? And trying to get her vision across to the Pope. It took all the the courage she could muster to actually get the attention of the Pope. But by just saying, I'm not going to accept that you decline me on this mission. So we got to figure this out, right? So the Pope got her attention. He was like, I'll take care of this because he knew too. He was part of the whole thing where he's like, no, you can't do it. But he decided to, sit in the office with her and just talk to her. And the first thing that he said was like, I'm sorry, it's a no, because you're sickly. You're not even strong enough to make that trip. Why do you keep requesting this? And there was a part that she said something, because after the Pope said, shouldn't you just stay where you are and just take care of yourself? And she said something, I can't quite remember the exact thing she said, but it was so beautiful. It had to do with her vision and how that powers her. Like, that vision is what gives her life. Without that vision, what's the point? It's like, why would God give me this vision if I wasn't strong enough to do it? Something like that. If you watch the movie, there's a point where she says it and it will give you chills. Like, it's beautiful. So at this time, the Pope is like, this woman is interesting. So instead of sending her to China, he was like, well, I can't send you to China, but in the US, the Italian children need help there. So I'm going to send you there so you can help out. And again, this was like, it was like a setup at first. Like, she was not supported. She had to figure out everything by herself, her and her nuns, right? Even where, like the money that she needed, like all of that, she had to fight for it. She had to fight the entire time, right? But because of her, the legacy, just to make it short, the legacy that she left, she created orphanages across, like she started in the US for the Italian children, and she built one in Colorado, which is where I am, which is where the shrine is. But she created numerous ones for the children to support children and women. and her work transcended the US. Like it spread. Her work, this woman who nobody thought would survive, would live. And even in the movie, it shows you, I think she was struggling with like TB because she would cough and then she would faint. This is what she was struggling with. And she followed her vision. She made it work. She did not doubt. She had faith. The resilience, the persistence, the courage that this woman had, and the legacy that she left because of it. And because she had faith, like she had these beautiful angels that would come into her life to support her in certain area of the journey. And it blew my mind. This was my mentor for last year. So she really taught me about sticking to my vision, like the divine, put that vision within you for a reason. Is for you and it will come through you. You got to trust. And she really helped me to deepen into devotion, right? What am I choosing to devote to? And also, what is something new, that I need to be devoted to, like sacred devotion. There we go, right? It's not just devoted to whatever. It's about sacred devotion. What is sacred to you, your soul, your heart, right? That's what you should be devoted to. Again, last year, even with her, my connection with the divine was very strong. And of course, through that, the creative expression even expanded from the previous year. And that's the thing. Each thing that you learn, I want you to envision it as codes within yourself that get activated each year. And once these codes are activated within you, it just is open and it just builds on each other. It's all about awareness. It's all about being conscious of your journey. What are you choosing? What are you allowing yourself to see and experience? Most people go through the year just following everybody else, hoping and wishing and praying that something will be different. Wow, it's like they hold the power. And everything that they need is already there. Each time we step into a new year energy, we get a whole crew that come in to support us. And this is why I love this sacred blueprint that I do with my Goddess Unleashed Goddesses, because we create this. It's like intentional creation for the year. And it's not just creation, because a huge part of it is simply receiving. I feel like that's a big part of the feminine way. First part of it is start receiving. You just receive what is already here for you, and then you create something with that. You co-create with that, right? Like the goddesses come to me, my living mentors come to me, right? I don't go searching for them. They come to me. And so I wonder, as you're hearing this, is something like lighting up for you? Are you noticing a goddess or a divine teacher or divine mentor who's popping into your mind? You're like, oh, no wonder I can't get enough of this being or getting to know this being, or that's what I've been dreaming about. Has that been popping in? If it has, then ask, are you my mentor for this year? I want you to start yearly, right? The year mentor, because then you have a whole year to work with just one being. Of course, when I say one being, that being comes with the whole crew, right? But you can focus on just that one being, because that being gives you so much information about the flavor of your year, about who you're becoming that year, about the bigger theme will be for the year for you. Like, what soul lessons are you going to be learning that year or this year? Let's say this year, right? What are the blessings you're going to be receiving this year? What are you being asked to create? What is your soul asking you to create? There's so many answers that come in through these connections. Like I'm teaching you one aspect, which is the living mentors, right? But there's so many aspect of this that we are constantly open to. We never step into a new energy by ourselves. We're not on this journey by ourselves. We have never been. Right? We have our team. Like I'm just introducing you to just one part of your team. It's a tiny part of your team, right? Which is your living mentor, or can be a goddess mentor or a master, a ascended master, or a master of light who has shown up for you this year and wants to work with you. And I feel like part of this partnership is very important, that you you go in as the student. Because here's the thing, everything that they will teach me and guide me, like there are things that I have felt within myself. But when they step in, it gets activated, and then I get to learn how to live it, how to embody it, how to be that theme, that flavor. Whether it's sacred creativity or sacred devotion, all of that are already within me. But it's really understanding why. Why do I carry these codes? What am I here to do with them? And how do I serve the world with these beautiful gifts that I have? And these mentors do a beautiful work at working with us so that we can recognize these gifts, fully embody it, and create it, like actually bring it into the world, moving it from just a concept and bringing it into the world. So this year, I'm going to end with this one. This year took me by surprise because I'm used to working with goddesses and divine feminine mentors. And this year took me by surprise. So this year came in and, I get the same thing where Bean will come in, and this time it's like Da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci. Now, I love Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know about you, but is there a past person that you can't get enough of? Like they just fascinates you. Like it almost feels like you had a past life with them, like that connection. Like I have a feeling there's a past life connection with Leonardo da Vinci. I love him. There was a show years ago, I don't even remember, but I think you can still watch it. It's Leonardo da Vinci, or it's called Da Vinci. And it was just this fun show that talked a little bit about his life and showed some of the creations and, try to show some of his journey. And it's just beautiful. So I loved it. This was like years back. Just, oh, I fell in love. I fell in love with him. And I would go to the library and get books about him and look at his art and look at it. Just beautiful. I'm so just in love with his process, his mind. I wish he could be here so I can talk to him. Like, what was going through your mind? How did you get all these concepts that were way beyond your time, right? It just, I mean, now we know, we kind of have an idea, right? Channeling. But yeah, he came in this year and I was like, whoa. I mean, I absolutely love you. And I'm really excited that you get to mentor me this year. But this was the first year that I've received a masculine mentor, right? It's always been feminine. And the first thing that came in was learning the purpose of the masculine, the sacred masculine, with the sacred feminine. I think this is something that moves even beyond just me, right? It goes in the world. We're trying to find a balance between the two. We know we cannot live in a world where one just rules, whether it's just feminine or just masculine. They both have a purpose, and this same thing is mirrored within us first and then outside into the world, right? So we are more and more people are learning to bring those two sides together. That's the first idea when I said, whoa, masculine this time. Hello, Leonardo da Vinci, and welcome. Right, that was the first thing that came in. It's like the two, and in the previous years, I've always worked on the feminine side of things, and now it's like, okay, let's bring in the masculine, and in that co-creation. So the thing with these mentors also is that when they first come in, like even if I've known that before, I usually have no idea what their purpose with me is for the year. I don't spend time trying to figure it out because that's what the whole year is about. So usually things start to click towards the end of the year. So like November, December, definitely December. I'm like, whoa, now I know why. Then everything just clicks. Right. It's like, this is why you were here. This is what we worked on. Right. So if you receive your own divine mentor or living mentor, don't be in a rush to know, oh, this is what you're here. Because even if you get a glimpse of what that is, you're walking on that journey. That is the most important part. You have to walk the journey to fully understand and embrace it and encode it within you. Right. So even if you have like a little, like, okay, I think I know what this is going to be about, trust me, by the end of the year, you're going to be like, I don't know what I was thinking. It's always something. So the key is to be the student, Be excited, be curious, be willing to learn. Walk with the master. Walk with the master. And the last thing I want to say is this. So the way I work with these masters and what they've actually told me many times is that they're not coming in being like, oh, I am like greater than you and you should be. No, that's not what they're doing. When they come in, they're awakening my own mastery. Does that make sense? It's like that aspect. Think of each of the ascended masters of these living beings as codes that live within you. And when they show up, that part of you is getting activated. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. It's just so beautiful. What a powerful way to activate us as humanity if we are willing and open to actually receive this mentorship. Because we know you can choose to work with them and you can choose not to. It's up to you. Either way, your path continues. It's the same thing I tell my Goddess Unleashed women is that whether or not you do this blueprint, whether or not you figure out who you're walking with, your path is still the same. The difference is that you know what is coming up. You know the power that you have. You know the tools that you have to move through the blocks and the mountains. You know which mountain you're climbing. You know why you're climbing. Like you get that, you have the information. You're not moving through your path blindly. That's the difference. Your path still goes forward, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not. But the difference is that when you are choosing to consciously co create with the divine, the way you walk your path becomes different, more aligned, more embodied, and definitely more conscious. So, I love I love my mentors, divine mentors. And again, these are, I think I ended up giving you two types, the divine mentors and the living mentors. The living mentors again are the ones who have actually lived. They used to be human. I know they were human. I can find your history right now, right? And the divine mentors are like the goddesses and the divine beings that are elevated and you can't really find your human life, right? Not all the time. I love them. And I'm so grateful that I get to add this portion of divinity into my life. It's like an injection of divinity into my life. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I talk about it so that you can also get to experience this. I know what it does when I open women to this mystery. It changes the way they walk in their lives. It changes the way they operate in their life. It changes the way they see things, the way they speak, the way they move. It changes all of that. They become more centered, more aligned, more in tuned with all that yumminess that comes in to support them. They operate knowing that they're never alone. They're always supported in every way. It's a different way of living. So I want to hear from you. If you're listening to this and you're like, "Oh yeah, this being or this person has been coming to me or I'm drawn to this person," share with me, send me an email or if you're on social media, find me, send me a message, share with me. I would love to hear. And if you would like to create your own blueprint to find out who your divine team are, um, who are here to support you this year, then let's talk. Perhaps Goddess Unleashes for you. If not, then perhaps elevated empath is for you. If you are an empath and you just want to be empowered in your life rather than being beaten down by the energy that is constantly flowing around us, right? So, okay. Until next time, have a wonderful week. Bye.